Hello, punters, and welcome to the Leg Up Australia podcast. A very sombre edition as we talk to Nick from the Hurt Locker. He's done his knee. Oh no!
Oh no.
What's doing?
Yeah, mate, the t-shirts are on the way. There's popular lots of t-shirts coming at the moment. I think fucking
Yeah,
Thursdays. That's one t-shirt that's on its way, and
yeah.
you don't need knees to punt. So
Don't need
um,
knees to punt. That was it.
that was it. Yeah. So
How's it coming along, mate? You've got the news. You've got to do the surgery. You've got to do the whole thing.
yeah, did a job on it. Complete tear of the old ACL, but I suppose that's what happens to us elite athletes, isn't it?
Don't forget the MCL. You've given that a good go too.
Yep, a bit of ACL,
Well
bit of
done.
MCL, bit
Well
of MC
done.
Hammer. Yeah, not enough letters in the alphabet, but yeah, I'll be right.
Oh,
It's a good
mate.
excuse to lie down and watch races all day, really. So, um, yeah,
So nothing's changed.
no, exactly. That's the best way to
Just
say it.
slightly lying, just slightly more horizontal than you would be at the office.
Yeah. So my partner Kate, she said I think I'd end up fully depressed if I couldn't do any sport for 12 months or any exercise on it, and I'm like, yeah, I thought about that, but there's really nothing that I'm not going to be able to do that I was doing already. Like, can't play touch football, but that's all right.
At least you were trying before, so. Um, Mate, then we obviously with the injury, we're going to miss you down in Mudgee. You just freezing?
You froze on my end.
Okay. What did you hear?
Uh, Nothing. I heard you say mate, but you're
Okay.
you're slow motion on me again.
Let me just see if I change over. This internet should be fine. It's NBN.
Yeah. It's done like exactly the same thing as what I did last Thursday, where
Where was I last Thursday? Was I at home? No, I was at the office.
you're at the office, where it just
Of
went like you're
course.
like just slow motion, like
All right, I'm just changing over internet, so I might flick out for a second. No, that's one spot.
like on watching your mouth just then. You only just then said, "Where was I last Thursday? Was I here or at the office?"
Oh, okay. All right, that should be better, I think. Hopefully. Am I back to normal speed?
No, you're not, but your voice is.
Fuck. I don't think I am
But
because there's a massive
I,
lag between when I speak to when you answer.
I just followed straight on from you. Then was there a lag?
All right, do it again.
Hang on. You
Oh, when I stop the alphabet, you start. A, B, C, D.
E F G.
Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Um,
Okay, that looks like your camera just sort of half pulled
Caught
you
back
back
to
then and
normal.
pulled you.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, I think we just finished talking about your knee. Do you want to just ask about Mudgee Cup?
Yeah,
We'll go from there.
yeah, mate. So you're off to Mudgee tomorrow for a big weekend at Mudgee Cup, Calcutta with the Sporting News and Dabble.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Down to God's country. Just looking forward to tasting the local wines. Really relaxing. And as you know, Pat Allendorf, he's a real relaxer as well. So he's picking me up at I think 8:30 at the airport tomorrow morning, and then we're straight on up to Mudgee. We meet the Sporting News filming crew at a familiar location at my mum's farm there. See if I can hook mum up with a location fee or something like that. We're doing a preview amongst the vines. Oh, you know what I got for it? I got the mics.
Oh, cool.
They're on special for Black Friday, the handheld mics. So we're going to look like real Maxi Walker's up there, which I think he actually lives up there, Max Walker. Just side note. But yeah, so we're pretty pumped. We're heading up there tomorrow, so Thursday morning. We're doing a preview on the Vines. We're just doing some like kind of tourist stuff that they're going to film, and then we've got the Calcutta tomorrow night. The Calcutta was we only really because we were kind of going back and forth and negotiating this thing. We kind of only really confirmed plans Monday last week, and I've called the Calcutta to say, hey, can we get a table? Hey, it's Sam from the leg up, Sam Wood. Obviously, you know who I am.
Yeah.
She goes, Sam Wood from the Bachelor, the fit guy. I'm like, yeah, the fit guy. So she said, listen, love, this is the busiest night of the year for us at the Ori Hotel. Now, the Ori Hotel, and I will give it a shout out because it is a wicked pub. Like we go there all the time whenever we're in Mudgee. Like I said, Mum's there, and it's a great pub. You go, listen, it's the busiest night of the year. It's been booked out for weeks. And I said, did I tell you I'm with Sky Racing and Dave Stanley and Luke Marlowe? She goes, no, you didn't say that. I said, well. She goes, give me 10 minutes and I'll call you back. She goes, you wouldn't believe it. We've got a table for you. So they don't know that I've leveraged their names because they're doing the Calcutta, and then Big Sports Breakfast is there the next day. So I've leveraged their names, and let's see how I go.
So you've got to have a crack, really, don't you?
Well, you would understand this part. We're actually relying on Hildo for tickets as well, and then Hildo called us. Yeah.
He's got a good strike rate for me.
Yeah, well, actually, he has done well for you. But the last time I relied on Luke Hilton to get tickets, he said, I 100% have tickets to the Everest. And then he told us that it was last year's armband, but they never changed the colours. So he kind of got the late...
At least he got in.
Yeah, exactly. He got the late call up that he had to be over at Perth for Overpass and the other burn runners over there. So he can, and he's got to come back Thursday, do Kenzo Friday, do the meeting at Rose Hill on Saturday, and then him and Rachel are off to Hong Kong for the International Jockeys Challenge. So we're not going to see him at Mudgee Cup. And I said, listen, what about these tickets? You can't get any tickets anymore. He said, listen, when you get to the gate, call so-and-so on the phone, and he'll have to... I'm thinking, imagine that. I'm there with the sponsors. I could probably be pissing down. You can't buy tickets to the gate either. So it's like, if we're there and we can't get in because of this contact, we're done. We're watching it from the pub 500 metres up the street. So I haven't informed the Sporting News guys as yet, but it's a part of the journey, you know?
That's right. I feel like it just adds to the cinema. And no doubt they're listening and they're finding out this now.
Yeah, they would be. If we get this out this afternoon, they'll be listening to it on the way up to Mudgee. But no, they're good dudes and they're very. Look, I think they're pretty cool, ready to go with the flow. So I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. It's my first Mudgee Cup. Everyone tells me how good it is. They say it's one of the best country cups. They reckon it's the best Calcutta as well. And DS and Laurie Daly and all the guys from Big Sport, they go up there and they stay all weekend. So they do the wineries on Saturday. Apparently there's a party on Friday night. I don't know whose party it is or where it is. So if someone's listening and they can get me an invite to the party, Just hanging off Laurie Daly's coattails all weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Laurie, remember me?
Love! Sam from the leg up. Sam from the fitness show. Well, let's tip a few today. Let's have a look at these races. We've got the Winterbottom over at Ascot. Just before we get into Mudgee Cup, we'll do the Zipping Classic and then we'll do the Winterbottom. It's actually a pretty disappointing card overall for the second day of the Pinnacles Racing Carnival. Like, it's a Group 1, 2 listed races, and the rest are, like, there's no stakes, there's no nothing else. It's pretty, wouldn't you think they try and squeeze on like another like a big locals race for bigger prize money or something like that?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Like, they've obviously stretched out the Pinnacles over the last, year or two since they changed it. I think they might have been called the Masters, and now it's the Pinnacles. So this is the second year being the Pinnacles. But I think the fact they've tried to stretch it across a longer carnival, they add a few extra race days on the start and on the end. So maybe the quality of the actual day is gone a little bit. But
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
But that'll be right. Let's start with the Mudgee Cup. I just wanted to get that grievance off my chest, but I knew you'd have an answer for me.
I've always got answers, yeah.
Friday, 1st of December, race 7, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or is that 5 o'clock local time? Could be. Could be.
Time's displayed in local time, 4:55 p.m. in Mudgee.
Right, okay, yep. So it'll be 5 minutes to 5. I wonder what state we'd be in. Like not New South Wales, but like mentally.
Yes. Yes.
I'd say we would have just finished doing our actual financial commitments, work commitments. So Pat and I would be probably tearing the lid off one, and rolling into this race. Well, we'd have probably a few multis leading into Tabby Time, who's our current favourite. Let me just have a look what price Dabble have it. 185, which is the best price out there. Aaron Bullock, Chris Lee's backing up that win. Was it 2 weeks ago? Last time when we backed it for members only, actually, at Newcastle on the Hunter race day up there. Second in the market is What a Deal, Annabelle Neesham. Let me have a look what the next one is. Awesome Lad, $9. Irish Kish is $11. Raj Niche at $11 and Scorchland $15. The rest continue and start to drift out. Did you have a chance to have a look at this one, mate?
Yeah, I had a bit of a look, and I was actually surprised by the market a little bit, mate, because obviously Tabby Time is going to be hard to beat off the strength of that Newcastle win the other day there, but that was in a benchmark 78, sort of the end of the New South Wales Spring Carnival. There at Newcastle on that standalone meeting, but the top weight, What a Deal, was a good winner in benchmark 90 company at Flemington on stage.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the better form. I know he's got to rise 7 kilos from that effort, from the 53 to the 60, but a little bit of weight relief with Braith Knock on board, takes 2 kilos off. And that second horse there at Flemington that day, Von Hawk, I've sort of always liked him, and I know the connections have got a fair rap on him as well, and they put a big space back to the third horse that day. So I was sort of happy to follow those two out of the race. So barrier 7 probably just going to go forward, and I would say probably lead, to be honest. I don't think there's a great deal of speed in it. No. Rajnish probably goes forward, but outside of that, there's really not that much tempo. So I think the young kid on board might have a fun time of it, to be honest, on What a Deal.
Yeah, mate, I like it. It's hard not to look past the top two in the market. Tabby Time, like Aaron Bullock, just on fire at the moment. We were discussing before about his stats at the moment. His last 50 rides, he's had 14 winners, which is 28%. I think for the season he's riding at like 26%, which is just electric numbers, really, really good numbers. So it's hard, but I can't really dive into Tabby Time at the $1.85.
No, it's hard. Like, it was a nice win the other day. Obviously, members were on it as well, so that makes it even sweeter. But yeah, he's certainly, like, when I went in and looked at the market before, I was not expecting to see Tabby Time $1.80 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I was the same when I was having a look at this race and the markets weren't out yet. I'm like, maybe you'll get like high twos. I thought I knew it'd be favourite and all that stuff, but yeah, I think it's a but like I said, I'll have a couple of multis with Tabby Time in there. Might have 2 quaddies and just stand Tabby Time out in one of them. And I like What a Deal. Your one, like I said, I'd probably be diving into that a little bit more if it didn't have the apprentice jockey on board, and that's no knock on Braith. But yeah, I don't mind Irish Kisses, which we're trying to figure out. I reckon Blake's tipped that in members only before, but Grant Buckley on board. Tracy Bartley is a good trainer out of Wyong. I just think that it's got good runs on the board for this, and I think having a bit of a flick around it, it's $11 with Dabble at the moment, so I don't mind having a little tenner on that. Look, I've got one. I want you to have a look at it if you've got your your app open in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't mind this Like a Storm in the last at Mudgee. It's first emergency. Oh shit! I think it's first emergency, yet it's favourite. Okay, so I hadn't had a look at it since prices had come out, but yeah, I think that if it's in, I think that is my best of the day in the last. How good's that?
A good old blast out. Hopefully it gets
Yes.
Aaron Bullock on board.
It's first emergency. Crockett's a good local trainer. His old man's been around the area for 100 years. They reckon that his dad, Max Crockett, good strong name, Max. I reckon he's one of the greatest horsemen out of New South Wales, and broke in 10,000 horses that became race horses and things like that. So it's got a good little bit of family history from the area and all that stuff. So I think he's from the area. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Crockett, yeah, he's around that way, I thought.
So yeah, I'm hoping this thing gets in. How does it work? I've never actually had a bet on an emergency.
Yeah, well, if you back it and it doesn't get a run, you get your money back. Just refund it, just like any scratching. But if you back something else and the favourite comes out, most bookmakers don't take any deductions on emergencies, so it could be $1.40, and it wouldn't matter. Nick,
I've got a stat for you in the Zen Classic. You'll like this because I know you like your stats. Did you know? Yes, talk about domination. Do you know what I'm about to say? Because I know you like looking at stats on races. Is it about Lloyd Williams?
It can be. If you've got Williams.
I read today that Lloyd Williams, he owned the winner every second year between 2003 and 2018. Every second year was a runner owned by Lloyd Williams. That has to be some sort of international record. I mean, maybe not like the King or something like that if you wanted to go way back, but to have the one owner own a horse that won every second year the exact same race for 15 years is insane. And he's got the first runner in this race that he's had for 5 years in Serpentine.
There you go. So, I believe that because obviously the race is named after one of his in the Great Zipping, who won it 4 times. Tanby was another one of his that won. I know the Taj Mahal won back-to-back runnings. That was another one of Lloyd Williams.
Yeah, Taj Mahal. Yep.
Yep. That's a pretty fast stat.
It's pretty dominant. I'd love to know if it's been beaten internationally. But enough stats. Who wins it?
Well, the simple stat that I was trying to come up with earlier and whatnot was that horses that have run in a Melbourne Cup before running in the Sandown or the Zipping Classic have got a better record than those horses that have never run in a Melbourne Cup before. So that just leaves a couple of horses in this field, and that's Vow and Declare, Military Mission, Serpentine. So they're the 3. But then another stat, if you want to go on to that, there's been a lot of multiple winners of this race. Zipping on 4 of them. The Taj Mahal won back-to-back in 2017, 2018. Sound won 2020, 2021. Then we got last year's winner, Vow and Declare. He's a Melbourne Cup winner, so he's ticked that Melbourne Cup box. He's won the race before. He's got the chance to go back-to-back, and I think he can. I'm a big fan of Muramasa. He's a really nice horse, unbeaten this prep. And, potentially could be this time next year have run in a Melbourne Cup. I would say that's their long-term goal with him. But, I think Vow and Declare's going just as good as what he was 12 months ago and meets a field of probably a little bit better quality than what he beat 12 months ago. But I don't think he's out of it. So, I'm happy to be with the reigning champ.
Vow and Declare, Billy Egan on board, $6 with Dabble. I'm happy to back that with you, but you have to have a little saver on Serpentine just in case. Just due to the stats on Lloyd Williams runners, he's currently $17 in the market. Michael D is on board. If it won, you'd be like, how did I not have
Yeah,
a few shekels
you're
on it?
right. Like, and I don't think he's a 2 miler either, Serpentine. I think he's better suited back in trip to 2400. So he'll lead, he'll
Yeah.
roll him along and be in front for a fair way. I think Michael D's first Group 1 winner was in the Lloyd Williams colours too.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I can see him kind of possibly controlling this race. Okay, found declare. Let's head west. The wild, wild west, guys. This is going to be upsetting for a lot of people. We do not have DJC this week. He's away for work in Perth. So what are the odds of that? That he's done a big interstate trip, and I don't think he does a lot of those with work. And it's in Perth, and he misses out on doing any of the Perth stuff that he does for the leg up. So I think he's a little bit filthy. I did see, as we said earlier in the show, that Hildo's over in Perth. I think I saw in a group chat that Hildo picked him up and took him out to the stables this morning and showed him all the good horses running around out there.
Yeah, I think I saw a photo of DJC with Overpass. So I don't know if is that a good thing. It's like when the supermodels get front page photos with horses that are racing. That's usually a mock. Like you don't back whatever horse Emma Freedman had a photo with on on the Tuesday in the Melbourne Cup. You know, the front page horse. So might be a few nervous moments.
DJC could be the great mock. It could be the great mock. I tell you what, he's looking fit. He's been back in the gym. He's been starting building muscle again. And some of those horses are looking a bit small in comparison, paling in regards to size compared to the big horse DJC. But look, we'll get stuck in the Group 1 over there, 1,200 metres. It's the Winterbottom Stakes. Overpass is our favourite at $2.90. Triple Missile and Ripcord at $6.50s. Oscar's Fortune at $9. Hot Z at 11, Snowdome 14s. It just goes on and on and on. Savatoxel down there at 40s, Labour Rod at 71s. I actually had some Winterbottom Stakes. We're saying stats because you just choked on a stat 5 times, so we had to cut it out, which is just fantastic for me to know, and knowing that that's in the recording somewhere. Okay. So let's have a look at this. Where did I read? I read this in the best bets. Visiting sprinters won 9 of the last 12 Winterbottom Stakes outside of 20 and 21 when it was the COVID era. And I think Trekking was the only one over there, and I don't think he played, but he was like 4th or something like that. Yep. Paul Early won at 13s, and the other 3 raiders finishing in the first half. And I think with that, knowing that it's easy pickings for these East Coast raiders, I can't look past Overpass. It's running the quokka. It's got to be a forgive run. Last start in the Everest, it was 4 lengths off him. It did have chances. It was crowded early. It just didn't look good those latter stages, and apparently I think it actually ran good times. And of course, as you know, I backed it and would have loved to have seen it go over the line. But roll back to the shorts where it was, half head off Private Eye, beat Buenos Noches, lost a plate and running. Like it's a tough little doer, Overpass, and I'm very happy to have him on top for me. A little bit too short as well. I thought it's a little bit more competitive than Overpass just copping that 290. But yeah, I don't think anything can beat it. What do you reckon? You got something to take me on?
I've got something to take you on, and my knock on Overpass. So don't get me wrong, I think he's 100% the horse to beat. He beat a lot of these horses in the quokka in his only start in Perth, and he probably beat better horses that day too, where he beat Amelia's Jewel, Bella Nipotina and co. You can't knock his form because he's run 2nd in the Doomben 10,000 since, 2nd in the shorts, like you said. My one knock is the Everest form. All right, so usually, straight after the Everest, we were like, well, these are the best horses. This is the form ones you want to follow. But Think About It got beat his next start. Private Eye got beat his next start. In Secret was only plain. Cylinder went like a busted in the Coolmore. Hawaii Five didn't do much in the Golden Eagle. Espiona, she's the exception because she won the invitation out of it. And then ran well in the Darley Sprint, which Buenos Noches also ran well in that Darley Sprint. I think he might have run second to Imperatriz that day. Shinzo's gone all right in the Coolmore. Marzu's gone no good, and a Hunter Alcohol Free's gone no good. Her next start. So there's a few knocks. He had a bit of a gut buster. Yeah, he's been freshened, but he's also got to go to Perth now. So that's the knock I have on him. One horse you didn't mention the price there before, so I don't know if it's 100 to 1 or not, or if you just skipped over.
I can only go so far down the list.
Yeah. Resort Man. What price have we got at?
Yeah, I didn't get that far down. $21 with Dabble.
Yeah, I think that's a good price. So this is a horse that he's first up here. He won first up in the spring last year, albeit over 1,400 metres. He ran 13th. He ran 13th in the Gold Rush. First up, well, he sort of off a bit of a freshen, but on sort of a quokka prep. He ran 7th in the quokka, but he was only beaten 2 lengths that day. And then at his only other start for the autumn, he ran 3rd behind Bustler, who Bustler came out and won the Railway on Saturday just gone. Only beaten less than half a length there, and the Velvet Queen ran 2nd, and she was the eye catcher in that Railway. So a couple of nice trials just to get him ready for this. Braver or Willer, I think he won a Winterbottom a few years ago. Might have ridden Elite Street in 2020. Yep. So yeah, Resort Man's the local hope that I think can get the job done here. My Bella May was the other one I thought was a big price, and obviously, Overpass.
Yeah, I like it. It looks like it's been forgotten a little bit. It definitely looks like the perfect local prep for this race, eh?
Yeah, I would imagine that. I would imagine that the Gold Rush is their main target, seeing as he's only first up here, and last year ran 4th in the Railway, so they were up and about a bit earlier and whatnot. But he's got some proper form. Nice horse. So I'm happy to be with him at $21, I think.
I'm happy as that as a bit of a value bet as well. But yeah, look, I hear you about the Everest form, but nothing in this comes probably close to even bad Everest form. That's right. He probably only needs to be 80% to beat most of these, especially if they have off days as well. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. So, mate, we've ground out these 3 races. It's taken us about an hour to do a probably 20-minute podcast due to storms coming in, and we need to get back into the office. I'm on location. You're on location. We need to get back to recording in front of each other. But until you get that leg better, mate, we don't want you coming in.
No, I might grow a pair of wings and learn how to fly.
Yeah, you can't be driving. You can't be riding Blake's bike either for a while. So, if you are out at Mudgee, come down and say hello. We'll all be back on deck next week to do the what is it? What is next week's Pinnacles race?
I think the Northerlies next week. So the 1,800 metre race, Zaki.
Yeah. Yep, Zaki. So we'll be potting that. And, so have a good weekend this weekend, punters. Good luck out there. And if you're going to if you want to keep up with what we're doing, make sure you're following the Sporting News and Dabble socials and all that stuff, and you'll see us across there. And other than that, if you can have a bet, do so responsibly and do it with Dabble.
Sounds good to me.